So far I have been covering NIO from the perspective of its future car sale growth numbers and how its next quarter sales numbers are going to look like, and so on and so forth. But in today I will try to answer one specific questions for people who have been holding it for a while, and the stock seems to have run quite a bit from within 6 months, from like $3 to $4 to $18.32 that it closed on this Friday. Today is September 26th. So should you sell NIO at this price? That's the question I'm uh, trying to answer, or not. I'm trying to think about it, and as in my previous videos, I will try to come up with certain data to see that you can also look at with the perspective that I am seeing. So at 18.32, NIO is valued at $22.39 billion, and the question that we are trying to answer is that valuation is a reasonably good, so you can sell it. So to do that, I'll go by the number of the car sales number, and in the previous or in the coming month, and I think in a week or so, we will have these numbers for the September month, which will be like around 4,000 or a little more than that. And they have a new car sale, that's EC6, that's coming up. That's going to drive the more sales. And in the next few months, and you already stated that they are gearing up for manufacturing more than 5,000 a month. So it's not unreasonable, like in the next couple of months, or maybe even earlier, or at the most in 3-4 months, it's not unreasonable to think that they'll start selling like 5,000 cars per month. That translates to 60,000 per year, if not more. It's a very modest kind of, not going back but not too futuristic, but it's a very near future. That's the kind of the yearly sales we are expecting, and you just need to multiply it by $50,000 for the average price for one car sale. ES8, for example, is higher price, but the rest of them are lower. But they also get some other revenues, from example battery and other things. So we are looking at a $3 billion sales, not in a very distant future, but in a very maybe to 2021 or maybe even earlier. And now with that $30 billion sale, is that $22.39 billion valuation justified? And for that, I looked at the Tesla, and that has a valuation of 379. Tesla is obviously much bigger brand, so we cannot compare it with the Tesla. It's in US based and has more value, but we are going to see some ballpark numbers. It has a most recent quarter has $6 billion of quarterly revenue, that translates to $24 billion of yearly revenue. And if you multiply that figure roughly by 15, you get to this kind of valuation, maybe 15 or 16. Now, obviously, I'm not taking a futuristic sales number for the Tesla. It's going to be actually slightly higher, so $30 billion yearly revenue will be a more realistic. But even if $30 billion, it's like 12 or 13 times the car sale number. I'm not going to the profit and things like that, because a growing company needs more capital infusion, so profit numbers are not more reflective of the thing. So by this fact, this $3 billion, and if I multiply it by 15, we get a $45 billion of valuation, comparing it apple to apple, and it's currently $22.39 billion valuation. So on the other hand, Tesla may have explored it more fully. It's whatever, it still has a lot of room to grow, because the things are still growing. But NIO is even earlier stage of its growth potential, so its growth potential is somewhat higher than Tesla. So uh, I'm taking a futuristic number here, not so futuristic number here, but this has a more growth potential. So these things balance out, and we can say that it's 2x more potential from where it has. Especially, it's expected that it will keep reporting the numbers that are growing sequentially quarter after quarter. So that being said, there is a good case that you should be selling this NIO stock, and some of these reasons could be if you find a better investment opportunity, if you know and you are confident about something at a something like a NIO at an earlier stage, you could invest your money into that, maybe an IPO or something like that. Do you need that money? Then that's a no-brainer. You should. You probably it's okay to sell it here. You may feel like you could have sold it a little like a year later and could have realized 2x from now and so on and so forth. If you have some other stocks you are making losses, you can balance it by taking profit from it and pay less tax at this point of time. So that's your taxation situation. But the last and the most important thing I wanted to explore in this video was the explore the call option sale, and that is very and that's what I do. What you need to do is go into Yahoo Finance or any other and click on the options tab and drop down the date that says, let's say, October 30th, and look for the price that says $25 and look at the prices and quotes next to it. It's more closer to 50 cents. And what does that mean? That you sell the option of 20. If you have to sell it, then sell the option instead of the actual share. So what happens? So today is September 26th. A month from now, a little more than a month from now, you are planning to sell it at $25 or higher, and if that does not sell, you keep the 50 cents in your pocket. What does it mean? That by October 30th, if the prices goes above 25, your stock gets sold, but you also keep the 50 cents profits, which means that you are effectively selling it at $25.50, which is much better than the today's. If you are willing to sell, you will get only 18.32. But what if the share price does not go to 25? Let's say it's stocks at 24 and start going down, then you keep the 50 cents profit, which is like maybe at least 2%, or if you are taking $18 current price, it's almost 3% in a month, and that's a big money, which you are talking about like 36% a year or 35% a year. If you do not want to sell at 25, maybe you can go a little farther in the date, November 20th, and $30 of the strike price. So your stock gets sold only if it hits $30 more, and in that case you get 68 cents as your commission if it does not hit 38 and it gets sold. And if it gets sold at 30, which is probably a good price to sell, given that all this equation is not a bad deal at all. So with this, I hope it helps you. If you have any comment, just write it down. Thanks.